If you're a veteran here in the Houston area, there's a good chance you're sitting on one of the best wealth building tools this country offers, the VA loan. And you're either not using it or you're scared to use it because of something a friend told you, something a landlord said, or something a seller's agent got wrong. Today, we're clearing all of that up. I'm Miguel Gutierrez with Texas Home Sold Group. I live and work right here in Fort Bend County. So this isn't secondhand info. I'm also an Army veteran myself, and I'll be honest with you, even I ran into some of these same myths when I bought my own current house before I ever got into real estate. So I'm not just talking theory here, lived it. My goal today isn't to sell you anything or pitch you a loan. I just want to walk you through the 5 biggest VA loan myths I hear from veterans all over Harris County, Fort Bend County, and the surrounding areas, and clear them up so you can keep more money in your pocket and actually use the benefit that you earn. Here's the myth. People think a VA loan takes 60, 90 days to close. That is buried in red tape. And that if you're competing for a house in Katy, Cypress, or Sugar Land, a seller is just going to toss your offer straight in the trash. Let's look at the actual numbers. Recent industry data shows VA loans are closing in around 40 to 45 days on average. That is basically the same as a conventional loan, which averages around 41 days, and an FHA loan at around 42 days. So the idea that VA loans are dramatically slower just isn't true anymore. Here's what's really going on when a seller hesitates on a VA offer. It's usually not the VA loan itself, it's a weak offer or an agent who doesn't know how to present it properly. When I put together a VA offer for a buyer here in Fort Bend or Harris County, I make sure the listing agent knows my buyer is fully underwritten and rock solid before we even submit. That's what gets VA offers accepted in competitive markets, not luck. This one trips up a lot of people, including me at first. The myth is, I don't need a single dollar in my account to buy a $400,000 house in Fulshire or Richmond. Here's the reality. The VA loan does guarantee 100% financing, meaning zero down payment on the purchase price. But buying a home still comes with some out-of-pocket costs along the way. You've got your earnest money deposit, which is usually around 1% of the purchase price, held in escrow. You've got your option fee and inspections, general home inspection, termite, maybe a foundation inspection. That usually runs somewhere in the $500 to $800 range. And then you've got closing costs and prepaids. Things like lender fees, title fees, homeowners insurance, and your property tax escrow. Please keep in mind that these prices and fees are subject to change at any time. Now, there's also something called the VA funding fee, which helps keep the VA loan program running for future veterans. Here's the good news. If you have a service-connected disability rating of 10% or higher, you're completely exempt from that funding fee. And here in the Houston market, especially in newer communities out in Richmond or Katy, sellers and builders can often contribute toward your closing costs. On the standard stuff, your normal closing costs like the appraisal, title fees, and prepaid taxes, there's actually no cap on what a seller can pay. Where the VA does set a 4% limit is on the extra concessions, things like paying off some of your debt, buying down your interest rate, or covering the funding fee itself. So when you stack those two together, it's very possible to walk into closing and walk out with little to none of your own money spent, sometimes even getting your earnest money back. I hear this one a lot. VA appraisers are going to nitpick every little scratch on the wall, make the seller do $20,000 in repairs, or lowball the value just to be difficult. Here's what's actually true. The VA has what are called minimum property requirements, or MPRs. And these aren't about cosmetics. The VA doesn't care if the paint color is in your taste. These requirements exist to protect you, the veteran, from buying a house with real problems. A bad roof, a broken HVAC system, peeling lead paint, or structural issues. That's it. It's a safety net for you, not a hurdle. And here's something most people don't even know about. It's called the Tidewater initiative. If the appraiser thinks the home might come in under the contract price, they're required to notify the lender before finalizing anything. and that gives your agent and lender 2 business days to submit recent comparable sales to support the price you agreed on. Conventional loans don't have anything like this. It's actually one of the more veteran-friendly parts of the whole process. This is a big one. I talk to veterans all the time who say, I already used my VA loan on my first house 10 years ago, so now I'm stuck with a conventional loan. Not true. Your VA entitlement is a lifetime benefit. Once you sell your previous home and pay off the VA loan, your full entitlement gets restored. And you can use it again. It gets better. There's something called bonus or secondary entitlement. Back in 2019, the Blue Water Navy Vietnam Veterans Act removed the loan limits for veterans with full entitlement, meaning there's no cap tied to your county's conforming loan limit anymore. Because of that change, in certain situations, qualified veterans can actually hold more than one VA loan at the same time using that secondary entitlement. Say, if you're relocating and haven't sold your first home yet, there are some specific rules and math involved. So definitely talk to your lender about your exact numbers, but the point is, this benefit is a lot more flexible than most people realize. Before I get to this last myth, I want to take a second and mention something important for a lot of our local families here. Y si tú o tu familia prefieren hacer este proceso en español, también hablamos español. Okay, number 5. VA loans are only for $200,000 starter homes, not custom built or nicer homes out in Fulshire or Sugar Land. Since there's no cap on loan amounts for veterans with full entitlement, you can absolutely use a VA loan on a $700,000 or even $1 million home with zero down, as long as you qualify based on your income and credit. I work with a lot of higher earning veterans, officers, and folks relocating here for corporate jobs who use their VA loan on much nicer homes, simply because it allows them to keep their cash working elsewhere instead of tying it all up in a down payment. Let's do a quick recap. VA loans close just as fast as conventional or FHA. Zero down is real, but you still need a plan for a few smaller costs along the way. The appraisal process is actually built to protect you, not working against you. Your entitlement is a lifetime benefit you can reuse and sometimes even use twice at once. And there's no cap that limits you to a starter home if you qualify for more. As a fellow Army veteran, here's what I want you to walk away with. Don't let bad advice from a friend, a landlord, or an uninformed agent cost you a benefit you earned through your service. I learned some of this the hard way buying my own house, and I don't want that for you. If you're thinking about buying anywhere in Fort Bend, Harris County, or the surrounding areas, and you want an honest, no pressure look at your VA numbers, reach out. Call or text me directly at the number on your screen or in the description, or head over to the website listed on the screen and in the description to book a time to talk. Jacob and I work with veterans in this market every single day, and we would love to help you use this benefit the right way. Before you go, drop a comment and let me know which one of these myths did you actually believe before today. And if this helped you out, go ahead and subscribe for more honest breakdowns of Houston real estate. I'll see you in the next one.